Apple's iPhone 7 and 7 Plus are here, but they might not be the dramatic leaps forward you're expecting. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of new stuff here, and some of it is genuinely useful. Some of Apple's decisions, however, might get you scratching your head a little bit. First off, yes, the 7 and 7 Plus look and feel a lot like last year's iPhones. We do have two new colors though, a matte black and a jet black. The latter is easily my favorite new finish, but it ain't perfect. It picks up fingerprints really easily, and Apple just confirmed it's more prone to scratching. On the plus side though, Apple finally managed to make a pair of water-resistant phones. It only took a few years and plenty of begging from the press. Personally, I can't wait to test this further, and speaking of things I've been begging for, Apple finally decided to start the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus with 32 gigabytes of storage and increase the battery life across both models, just maybe not as much as I'd hoped. Now, about that more substantive stuff. Both versions of the iPhone 7 put up with me launching lots of apps and fiddling around, though that was to be expected. These are, after all, completely fresh devices, and they're both running Apple's new A10 Fusion chipsets. Hopefully the 7 and 7 Plus stay this fast over time. Both have updated 12-megapixel cameras as well, which took really crisp and bright photos in Apple's press area, but the 7 Plus has two of them to give it an actual zoom. Switching between cameras was dead simple, and while I loved this feature when it first popped up on the G5, Apple's approach seems a little more elegant. The front-facing camera has been bumped up to 7 megapixels as well, which is great if you're as tragically vain as I am. Then there's the headphone jack. There isn't one. You'll have to use the included Lightning EarPods or the Lightning to 3.5mm adapter with your older headphones. Now that move doesn't impact me a lot since the Moto Z forced me to change my habits anyway, but I can see a lot of people getting rightfully miffed about this. At least the 7 and 7 Plus have stereo speakers, which we couldn't really test in that crazy loud press zone. The new home button can be pretty divisive too. It's not actually a button so much as it is a sensor that activates the Taptic engine and vibrates like a force touch on the screen when you press on it. Will newcomers notice? Not at all. But longtime iPhone loyalists might feel a little weird about this thing for a while. All told, there's a lot going on with these two new devices, and I won't make any sweeping statements until we get to play with final hardware. That said, we're dealing with a lot of subtle and expected changes. With any luck, the whole will be greater than the sum of those parts.